आपके लिए तो ये बिजनेस डील है ना?
वो बिजनेस सिर्फ हमारा नहीं, तुम्हारा भी है।
नहीं, मेरा नहीं है और मैं नहीं चाहता आपका बिजनेस।
Everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Learning Perspectives. My name is Gitika, and today I have with me Pankaj. He's based out of Seattle, and he writes essays about films on his blog, Dichotomy of Irony. And he's been writing about films since 2007. And he's also written for publications such as Film Companion. In his day jobs, he works in a finance department for an e-commerce firm. Thank you, Pankaj, so much for joining us today. I would really like your inputs today. We will be deconstructing a movie called Dil Dhadakne Do. And this let me give you a little background about this movie. So this movie is basically about a dysfunctional business family, and the family consists of two of parents and their two kids, right? And the family business is called Aika, which is based on the name of their kids, Aisha and Kabir. So Aika, and the parents in the movie are played by Anil Kapoor and Shefali Shah.
Thank you for calling me here. When you were speaking about the whole family business, although I have some of my points which I'll just talk about, I just remembered something about like when I was a young kid, my father, opened a bank account and there was something very peculiar written on it. It said his name and then HUF. And I never knew what HUF was. So now, like later when I, grew up, I searched a little bit, then HUF stands for Hindu United Family. So I think
Hindu Undivided Family.
Sorry, yes, I apologize. Yes, Hindu
Yes.
Undivided Family. So
Yes.
that just struck me when you were mentioning this here. Of course, there's still a lot of legal background to this, but I'll read up more about it, but I just wanted to bring that up. It just struck me when you were
Yes,
saying
you're
about it.
absolutely right in bringing that up. HUF or Hindu Undivided Family is what I'm talking about. When I say family businesses in India, they're mostly Hindu Undivided Family. Now, why did you have a separate account, and there is also separate taxation for the Hindu Undivided Family? It basically means the ancestral property by one person is carried out through generations. So it is just passed over and over, and the business remains in the family itself. Now they are also taxed separately, and they have their accounts, hence their accounts are also separate. Everything is generally separate. In India, basically, family businesses have been running for ages. So keeping ownership within the family is deeply rooted in the mindset of people, right? So here's a fun fact. So according to a PwC report, 76% of Indian family businesses believe that family and business strategies are completely aligned. So, businesses offer resilient leadership, stability, and commitment. Also, succession planning is generally looked at in family businesses. One more statistic that I would like to give all of you is that out of 100 businesses that are set up in India, 60 stay in the business through the second generation. That means people in the family itself adopt and go towards the second generation. Only 32 remain in the third generation, and only 16, 1/6, that is 100 was set up and only 16 reached the fourth generation, right? So we can actually see the difference here, right? Basically, what they're trying to show in the movie is about their business and how they want to keep this business running in the family itself. So they try to put this on the child, which is the Kabir, who's the male child in the family, and they are asking him to be a part of the business. Although Kabir has different kinds of interest and he's not really interested in the business. While Aisha, which is played by Priyanka Chopra, she has a very high business acumen. And the family is really not looking at her right now because she's married. And any other way of looking at this movie? What are your thoughts on that?
So, when I watched this movie like when it released, but I watched this again like a few days ago. And, what struck me was, how the film also basically talks about different kind of funding options that a business might have. So just to
Yeah.
give a little bit context, like the company ICA uh, is basically under stress,
Hmm.
and that's run by Kamal Mehra or Anil Kapoor. It's bankrupt.
Right.
He says that they don't have any money.
Correct.
So the company, they don't exactly tell what they are doing, but it's by that one scene in the film, in the factory, it looks like they are into manufacturing some plastic material or lunch boxes sort of a thing.
Right. Right. I
Right.
remember that scene. Yes.
Right, right. So, in that scene only, then Anil Kapoor's brother, he
Mm-hmm.
comes and tells them like the bank has basically refused to give them funds. And so the whole purpose of this movie was, finding a sort of a funding for their business. So basically, iCar doesn't have any funds, and now they have to return the money back to different people. And we see this is a very common scenario in businesses, especially with the COVID that struck last year and still continuing. A lot of businesses are struggling. So I felt like film talks about three specific strategies, which I'll just elaborate. First is something which I already mentioned, which is called taking a loan from the bank. In formal terms, this can be called as, a debt capital. So basically
Correct.
raising debt to fund their business. So in this
Right.
case, what happens is basically a company can go and ask for a loan from a bank and then run their operations, make some profit out of it, and return the
Mm.
money to the bank after including some interest.
Right. Right.
However, in this case, what has happened is that the company has basically overutilized their credit limit. That's why
Mm.
they are not getting any more funding. Now,
Right.
so what happens now next is that they basically think of another strategy, which is something called asset reduction. How is
Right.
this played out in the film is when you see, Kabir or Ranveer Singh, he is not happy because his father has told him that they will sell the plane. And
Right.
he loves flying. And as you had mentioned, like he's not as interested in business because his passion lies towards,
Right.
becoming a pilot and those sort of things.
Correct.
Now, the plane is under the name of the company,
Right.
and now he's a little stressed that they are going to sell it off. But
Mm-hmm.
his business savvy sister Aisha
Mm.
understands that this plane is basically, a dead investment. It's not really
Right.
related to the kind of product that they sell. So therefore, one recommended solution that they filmed or the characters were talking about, is this selling of plane, which if you think in like pure financial terms, it's called asset reduction. So that
Right.
was one thing which I saw. But then,
That's so awesome.
right. And then, what happens is like this it was continuing, and then the film moves further. And
Mm-hmm.
when Kabir brings this up to his mother,
Mm-hmm.
Neelam,
Mm-hmm.
she says that
मैं अपने हिस्से के कुछ शेयर्स बेच रही हूँ
क्या?
मुझे कुछ खरीदना है
she will sell her own shares because she's also sort of a partner in the firm.
Right.
This is, if you think about this is another strategy of, funding your business, which is actually called formally like equity funding, which is
Correct.
basically you are selling your shares. So, for
Absolutely.
public companies, this can be done via the stock market. For private companies, there are certain conditions you have to fulfill, but some of the
Right.
common ways for private companies are, you can sell the shares back to the company using the buyback program or sell it to some approved investor because of course private company shares aren't traded on the stock market. And ICA, if you think like they don't mention it, but it's clear that it's a private company. So initially Neelam Mehra recommends that she'll sell her own shares as she doesn't want her son to lose out on the plane. And then her husband jokes about it, like, you sell your shares back to ourselves, but that's actually a sort of approved strategy. That's actually,
Right.
the buyback program. But
Yes,
then
yes. Yeah.
finally they
I
both,
remember Microsoft doing that at one point.
right,
Yes.
right. It's a very common
Yes.
strategy, like buyback program. Companies do it all the time. So, but it was like he was just making fun of it, like, his wife. But then finally, they both come up with a strategy that they will sell 49% of their company's shares to their business associate called Lalit Sood, who is like a pretty rich man. He's a lot of businesses going on. And in return for it, what they want is their son to get married to Lalit Sood's daughter. So again, how this
Right.
film was actually, I felt, like what you mentioned initially as a family business, just but then also it talks about different kinds of funding, and the film is sort of centered around this only.
Yes.
So that was one key takeaway from the film for me.
That is so
So,
cool. I mean, we're looking at this one movie and we're seeing so many things here, right?
right,
शादी कोई रेस थोड़ी है कि फिनिश लाइन तक पहुंचना जरूरी है। अगर कोई किसी के साथ खुश नहीं है तो why can't I just you?
झगड़ा हुआ है क्या मानव के साथ?
झगड़ा नहीं but हम दोनों के बीच में
अच्छा, मुझे नहीं सुनना.
We also see a lot of dysfunction in terms of something called bounded rationality. And I will explain that. There's this one scene where Priyanka Chopra who's Aisha, is trying to talk to her mother regarding the divorce she wants from her husband, current husband. Now, here's a little, I would want to go to a little bit, take a step back and explain how Shefali Shah, which is Neelam in the movie, and Kamal, her husband, having a very strained kind of a relationship, which really
right,
they don't talk about, and they put things beneath the rug, right? So what is happening here is that, they don't have a good relationship in terms because Kamal has his ways where he does not respect
right,
his wife, and he's off having affairs with other women. And I think, and this is, everybody knows about this in the family.
right,
Yet Neelam is very insecure about the fact that Kamal might leave him, right? So this just points out
right,
to a lot of insecurity in herself about that fact, which generally shows a lot of low self-worth in her, right? So that low self-worth is being projected onto her daughter very clearly.
got it. Right,
Right. So when Priyanka Chopra or Aisha comes to her talking about that she wants to leave her husband, she doesn't say that out loud, honestly. She wants to tell her, but she's just blocking her completely. And that is what she's been doing with her husband also, because they don't have any kind of conversation regarding the topic itself. So now what is happening is she's projecting that low self-worth on her. Now, how is she doing that? Now, even in bounded rationality, now the concept remains same. Bounded rationality means looking at things from a level that you understand. Now, it's very common in organizations. Managers do this all the time. So there would be a problem. They will think, okay, this can be done through tried and tested ways. So I will do this, and I will not walk out of my comfort zone to probably take a risk and get a higher return. Similarly, in the scene itself, so when she's coming and talking about her, trying to talk to her about her problems, she is just understanding it from her perspective, in the sense that she's kind of, because she feels that way, we should stay in a toxic environment or a family that is not respecting each other.
right,
She also says that to her daughter, right?
right,
So
right,
she's trying to even though she knows what she's saying, uh, right? She somewhere knows it. She's not
right,
listening to her,
right, right,
and she's projecting that low self-worth on her, Aisha. It's also,
right.
while Aisha's
Absolutely.
story is different. She is a
Right.
businesswoman. She has her own self-worth, and you are able to generate income on your own when you have that kind of self-worth.
This, but it's very nice to hear from you that you actually formalize this term. So I
Right.
did not know, like, there is something like in a proper term that we can explain as bounded rationality. So it's
Right.
something new for me, which I learned from you today.
Right.
But just to continuing to what you were saying on the self-worth bit about Neelam, I saw, another sort of as a expression of low self-worth from her, which was,
Right.
how she indulges in emotional eating.
Ah.
Whenever we face, negative emotions in life, we
Mm-hmm.
feel a sense of emptiness or an emotional void. And then
Correct.
food is sort of a way, believed to be a way to fill that void and
Right.
create a feeling of fulfillment or a temporary wholeness, like we've seen when sometimes, we are depressed, we want to eat chocolate, and some people go for shopping, that's why they call like retail therapy.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I saw this, behavior
Hmm.
in Neelam in the film, how she
Right.
indulges in emotional eating because of her low self-worth. So the first
Right.
time, we see Neelam in the film, she's standing in front of a mirror and looking at herself to check, if she's looking pretty. And
Yeah.
this mirror is repeated throughout the film. When she gets ready for their anniversary dinner, she's again looking at herself in the mirror. And then her husband Kamal is standing next to her. And she thinks that he will give her a compliment that she's looking beautiful. But Kamal is so self-absorbed that he doesn't even look at her and simply just goes away.
Correct.
And then how that mirror is again a sign of low self-worth. She wants that validation in
Hmm.
herself, like. And
Right.
then all through the film we also see Kamal keeps on taunting her about her eating habits, and he makes
Hmm.
fun of it in front of his friend as well. And
Right.
earlier I felt like, when you're watching the film, okay, that he's just a normal
Hmm.
insult that he's doing. But
Right.
actually we see it in one of the most, beautiful scenes in the film, like how she eats a cupcake when she sees her husband flirting with another woman on their anniversary trip. And then
Right.
she's so humiliated that in front of her friends he's openly flirting with some another woman. And
Right.
then she just goes and eats a cupcake, and then we realize, that
Yeah.
food, the taunting of food or whatever that he was telling her, she
Hmm.
was actually using it to, fulfill that low self-worth in her, to fill that void.
Absolutely.
Right,
Wow. Yes.
right. And then, the earlier thing that you mentioned about bounded rationality, where she has nowhere else to go, because, and that's how she actually later says it, after some of their fight towards the end, she says to her husband, like, "Tum mujhe bhool gaye." And then during one of their fight scenes, her son also says that you never left your husband because आपके पास कहीं जाने के लिए कुछ था ही नहीं. Like,
Right.
again, so how it just ties down to what you were saying, and then she's so insecure that
Right.
her husband might leave her any day. So food is
Right.
her only source of calm right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
was something very interesting in the film that I saw. Did you see any other aspect to this or any other examples of
I
bounded
think
rationality?
how you mentioned about the mirrors,
Right,
I did see mirrors in the in the scene, and I did notice that a lot. While mirror being a metaphor of how I saw it, so she's looking in the mirror and being wanted to be validated by the husband,
right, right,
right? But from a different view is that is like just looking at yourself and thinking my reflection would change, right?
right.
That is
That's
how it
it.
is, right?
That's
But
wonderful.
ultimately mirror can also be a metaphor to show you that you
Your real
yourself,
self.
yes,
Right,
you yourself are complete, whole and complete, and validated by your own self rather than anybody else. So that's like a also her husband is never emotionally mirroring her, right? That's
right,
another way to look at it. So he's not giving her probably what she wants,
right, right.
so
Absolutely.
she never feels emotionally mirrored, from him. And probably that's why they show mirrors. I'm sure that is not the reasoning for them to show it in the movie, but that's how you can interpret it or look
Yeah,
at it.
exactly. We
Right.
can
So,
interpret it anyway.
right. So that was one thing I saw.
नेवर फिर मैंने आयशा को अलाउ किया बिजनेस चलाने
Another thing that I saw was a scene between again Manav and Sunny. Manav
Hmm.
is you saw that scene, right? So
Right, right.
Manav is Rahul Bose, and that is Priyanka Chopra's husband. He's playing the role of Priyanka Chopra's husband, and Sunny, who's Priyanka Chopra's ex. So they are having a conversation, and everybody's sitting around there and having a conversation, right?
After that song, that
Yes,
Dalla Gudia, right?
yes, absolutely. After that song, so they are, kind of having this conversation where Manav says that, I am allowing her to, run her own business. So in his eyes, he's doing like such a big, such a big thing.
Gesture, yeah.
Gesture, yeah, right. So
Yeah.
he's in fact, his thought process is that I'm a very progressive person
Husband.
and a husband. While even in the previous generation of my mother, or even the previous generation before it, no women worked in the family. So that's what
Right.
he's claiming to the entire audience sitting there. And Sunny, he comes up and he's making this point that he says that. Why does she even need your permission to do something like that, right? You're putting yourself in a place of authority and you're saying, I have given her permission to do that. And again, Manav cannot see this, right? Manav is progressive from his stance, but again, he cannot see the bigger picture. He is saying things that his father or his grandfather taught him, and that is the belief system that he considers to be the truth, right? So again, he's not seeing the real picture. He finds it very progressive, while Priyanka Chopra was dying of this restriction and this kind of environment that she is living in. So essentially, he just cannot see it. So again, bounded rationality comes into picture. So he's trying to understand the entire context through his limited view of seeing things, right? So this is what managers also do in an organization, and it's very common for people to just to understand problems. They put down the problem in their perspective and say, okay, this is what it is, and this is how I would solve it. So according to Manav, he's a progressive person and he lets his wife do things, yet he's not seeing the bigger picture, and eventually she divorces him. So this is the again the bounded rationality thing that I saw. Is there something else that you saw?
Fearless Farah.
अगर तुम मेरी जगह होते तो तुम भी fearless होते, कूद पड़ते यहाँ से और फिर डूबो या तैरो.
Right. Now, as I said, now that you mention it, I could relate it with other scenes in the film as well. So, another case, I saw it sort of here, sort of visible in the film was, in the case of Farah Khan, not Farah Khan, Farah and Kabir. Farah was played by Anushka Sharma. So when, she's a dancer on the cruise and she meets Kabir or Ranveer Singh on the cruise, and they start dating each other. So, when she narrates her story about how she ran away from home, Kabir is, just so amazed to hear about it that he calls her fearless Farah. She ran away from her house because she wanted to be a dancer. She is from a conservative family. But she wanted some things in life. Even though she didn't have money, she somehow found a path and became a dancer. And Kabir somehow cannot understand that how can she simply run away? He's from a business family and has all the resources at his disposal. And still he's cannot tell his father that he doesn't want to be in the family business,
Hmm.
but rather be a pilot, But Kabir, he's thinking about her life from his viewpoint only,
Right.
that like because he doesn't have the courage, he's thinking that others also don't have the courage, and then at one point she says, अगर तुम मेरी जगह होते तो तुम भी fearless होते और कूद पड़ते यहाँ से फिर डूबो या तैरो sink or swim. So she sort of
Right.
advises him to be fearless, and in the
Right.
end he actually jumps from the cruise when he realizes that she has left him and he has no other option. So when he reaches that stage that she was telling him, he also did that.
Right.
So another interesting thing I saw was like when she tells him to take a decision and then stick to it, and somehow you will figure out a plan. He's right now just doesn't know what he wants. Like he wants to be a pilot, but he never sticks to it. So she tells him like, दिल से फैसला करो तुम्हें क्या करना है, and दिमाग तरकीब निकाल लेगा. So just take a decision, think from your heart, and your mind will figure out a way. So
That's such a good dialogue.
right, how she basically teaches him to be fearless and come out of his shell.
Right.
So this was the entire purpose. The movie also is titled Dil Dhadakne Do, let the heart
Yeah.
beat.
Wow.
So that's how we talked about so many things in that film, and it's
Right.
a really nice film.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we've covered so much today. I
Right.
think we
Right.
saw about HUF today. We saw
Right.
about funding options,
Right.
wherein we saw debt funding option, we saw equity, we saw buyback. Also, we saw about bounded rationality.
Exactly.
Right. So for those who don't know, bounded rationality is a concept that is seen in organizational behavior and in management. It's also seen in psychology. So we have, that kind of concepts that are in
Right.
movies. It's all about seeing it, right?
Right.
So Pankaj would agree with me.
Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. That sounds so good. So that was so nice, Pankaj. Thank you for joining us today on this episode of Learning Perspective. Guys, I want you to subscribe to his channels. The description, you can find it in the description box. His blog is Dichotomy of Irony. And also his Twitter and Instagram details are in the description box. Please follow him. Please follow his work. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel Learning Perspectives. You can give your suggestions in the comment section area and let us know how did you like the video. And thank you so much, Pankaj, for joining us today. Thank you so much once again. It was a pleasure deconstructing Dil Dhadakne Do with you, and I had so much fun. We learned so much today.
Firstly, thanks to you as well, Geetika. I learned so much from you about, as I was saying, certain new concepts which we see, but we never think about them like, okay, they could actually exist in literature terms. So
Right.
thank you for explaining about it, and I really enjoyed our conversation today. So thanks again.
Thank you once again. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. This is a wrap. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Please
Bye-bye.
take care.
Bye.